What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome back for another stream. Just charting around right now, trying to find something good for tomorrow. I found a couple of them. I'll probably share them for y'all. For those who don't know what the Rico Cap zones are, these are it right here. Works on any name, but they're invented for Spy and Q first. I can get a little bit more into it. So pretty much, you can see as an example here, right? I haven't charted anything. I just started charting for the evening, or overnight. You can see kind of how, and we'll even look at Apple too, how it played out. Apple might be a little bit more looser just because I haven't been charting or staying on top of the charts, but you can see on Amazon here, right? We were trying to grind through that supply before close, and we couldn't quite do it. Sellers stepped in, and if you weren't paying attention to any earnings or any type of news or any type of whatever, and you're just trading charts zone to zone, you'd be like, okay, well, that made a lot of sense. We couldn't break that supply. Sellers were there the whole time. You can see them pre-market too. And then we dumped. We ripped through multiple demands, and notice where we actually tapped and bounced at right there, which is the same demand we were at the previous day, kind of lows. Notice how we did wick, and then we came back up to this zone, that 186, and then again, bounced around, came right back up to the 188, 187, wicked out of there. We did hit that 189 level, kind of a lowercase h pattern. So this is a prime example of, we're getting under once a zone, like, because this was green, of course, this was a demand until we got under it. But once we got under it, right, it just turns into a sell zone. So that became resistance. Notice how this was a demand. We got under it, sliced through it. Sellers took over. Think of it like capture the flag. Sellers are now here. They're home. And now they're here to defend it. And you can tell because once we came back to touch it again, they defended it, and we're kind of going lower. Expect this to be a demand. Expect this for buyers to fight around here, right, in this area. Obviously right here and then right here, not this full area because there's a gap between here, you can see, because we pulled down. So a little knowledge for y'all, just kind of get y'all to like understand my world and how I do things over here. But let's take a look at Apple and see how that did after hours. Pretty good, hitting that 204.43 level. Yeah, like I said, I haven't been charting Apple like that. I do have zones on there, but again, you can see they're just scattered because I haven't traded Apple like that in a while. If it comes near a zone that I already have them like around here, and I see it respecting it, or if I know it's around 200 or a level that 205 that I actually know off the top of my head, then I'll go for it. But I mean, it's been a minute since Apple's been kind of selling off and all that. So I haven't really been turning my attention to Apple too much. You can see it was in this channel, following the market. So it's not like it's doing its own thing. It's pretty much moving with the market. So of course I'm going with SPY and Q over Apple or whatever, because a lot of these individual names have a mind of their own sometimes, and news can come out, something that will kind of derail it from what you expect should happen and what the rest of the market is doing. So you could always kind of get screwed a little bit that way, where if you're slamming puts on Apple, thinking it should be doing exactly the same thing Q and SPY, and then Q and SPY does exactly what you thought it did, but Apple ended up reversing because of some news, and you're pissed off because you know you should have just went normal SPY and Q. So that's kind of my mindset behind that. As far as which names, stock selection, things like that is very important when it comes to making your trades right. Getting your trades right is obviously, getting that right is number one. But I mean, you can get them right and still be wrong if we're playing options. So you got to understand stock selection is a bigger rule up there, getting right, and that just comes with pre-market. You need to understand pre-market pretty much, what's strength, what's weakness, what's in your setup, what's not in your setup. Are you forcing something? Are you not forcing anything? Is your setup happening exactly the way you expected? Things like that. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Going into today, I think today was pretty tricky. I went 2 for 2 on the day today. Let's go over that real quick. I thought it was pretty tricky at open. I sniffed out weakness in NVIDIA very, very early. You can see how right at open, we pushed up and slapped this supply right here where we were kind of rejecting it pre-market. I knew that if it couldn't get through that SMCI news would be enough to pull down NVIDIA here. And I did a really good job kind of just understanding where we're at as far as this went. And we're looking at it. I went with this. There we go. Now you can kind of see exactly kind of what I played, how I played it pretty much. This 15-minute candle right at open, first 15-minute right. So right at open, we pushed up kind of with the market a little bit. NVIDIA got right up here, and I slammed those puts. Well, first I didn't slam blindly right here. We did push up. I want to see how sellers react. Sellers started reacting really well, so then I slammed them around here, 113.70, 113, 60-ish, and then we got that push. I saw that we did open up outside this flag, so I knew any type of push right here, we can short it. Came all the way down, and then my main target was the 111.92. We were in the 111 puts, and those worked out nicely. But again, you had to be kind of a little bit faster on that one, or at least kind of on stream or on live with me just to hear my thoughts through it. But if you chased, you would have made money. You just had to have listened to me on selling, because I was trim, and then I was all out. There was no stops with a buy. It was sell for a gain. I did see that, we're still kind of hovering around here, and the market wanted to push up, and that's why I wanted to be all out. I did sniff out the weakness, but I knew it would probably come later in the day, kind of front running the Apple or Amazon's earnings sell. So you can see after hours, those 111s are in the money. If you held on, obviously they're weekly expiring tomorrow. So, I mean, you would have been all right if you just held through the fire and flames. But it's all good. So we sold that for a game, moved on. From that point, I was sitting back. I'm thinking, market's probably going to push up here, at least melt up. Volume was pretty low, guys. That's why I wasn't really into wanting to short. I did see Q, notice how Q and SPY did the same thing. They pulled down pretty well. And so that was enough for me to make a gain off NVIDIA. But I knew probably not to be chasing downside right here just yet. Volume was very low. And if we look at the volume, you can see right there, the first 15-minute candle was 3.1 million. And then the second one right here, where this is where I was thinking about slamming the puts. After I was out of NVIDIA, I was like, is more downside coming? We'll see. And so I was thinking I did good getting out of NVIDIA. I was like, likely they're gonna try and push this up or something. I did see right here on this candle was about what 1.9 million, 2 million. We need on a 15, we need at least 2 million to pull us down or more like this. You see something like this. This is over five. This is 5.4 million. You can see we pulled down. We need something a little bit more. This was 2.1. You can see that was higher day and we pulled down. We slapped that supply and came right back down. So I saw this and was like, nah, I'm not going to chase it. In fact, it's up. I think we're going up. So then I was like, all right, well then I could go QQ some lottos, wait for the break here and stick to my zones, game plan, run up to 486 supply here. And that was going to be the banger. But I decided to not touch some lottos. In fact, I went TQQ. And kind of the same thing because TQQ was a lot stronger. We opened up outside of this demand here. And so these two, I was like, man, TQ is actually just kind of retesting this zone, meaning it's possible we're just going to dip into this and then rip back up, or QQQ tries to range a little bit. So I was keeping my eye on TEQ, and then once we start taking off here on this candle, I need to see this candle close right at here, because then at that point I'm taking the calls for the ride up to up here, which I knew would be the same move as QQ. So right when this 15-minute candle opened, we dipped a little bit, and I slammed some weeklies. No, I'm sorry. I went 2 weeks out. In fact, I went next week expiration, which plenty of time on that. Went very close to at the money, and this was a really good play because they ran from 130 bucks all the way up to like 180 plus. And so from even this little move from 57.64 all the way up to 58.89, even just a dollar move on TQQ is a few dollar move on QQQ, but I mean these move just as well. With a lot of we had a lot of time on the expiration, so I wasn't even tripping on that. I didn't feel like messing around with lottos today, and that's why I went with these. Sure, we probably could have got a bigger gain on lottos, but I didn't feel like going through that, kind of emotion, that roller coaster. So I was like, let's play safe. And I wanted this, that it could potentially be a swing. Say we got to this level and we're gonna keep it pushing, then easily, these would have gone in the money, or they're about to be in the money, and then really ramp up from there. So we trimmed a few times, stopped above buy on the last, and then of course stopped out above buy, but they held up above buy all the way until close, and then boom. But I let the team know, I'm all out on the last few, take the win, day by day. Let's see what happens, but I didn't want to kind of risk it too much, especially if we start pulling down here before close, for earnings and stuff. So the smarter move here, definitely the smarter move. And that's how I stay winning, guys. You gotta be smart. You gotta be, just because we still had a whole 10 days or plus whatever on the expiration doesn't mean I need to get married to this position. This was a really good play, and I'm gonna show you on the hourly. I could show you a little trick about why I took it, but I'm just gonna show you on the hourly here. Kind of why I took it, but really hammer out of this demand. Next hourly opened up is when I took it. We pushed down a little bit, slapped it, and the members can tell you, they plenty of time to get in after me. It started working 5, 7, 10 minutes after. It didn't really go against us. It just stayed kind of near break even, a little higher, and then it started pushing and working on the hourly. And I told the team in Discord that we're playing an hourly candle here. This is what we're playing. So you have time. It's not going to be a fast, quick little thing, and it perfectly worked. If you look at the damn chart for here, we can look at it. Actually, we can look at it. Can I look at it? I think so, right? Watch this. Oops. Yeah, let's take a look at it. And we're going to be looking at the option chart for the Q calls that we took. Beautiful. And I had no problem paying the extra premium on it too. All right. There we go. So pretty much this is the move that we caught. Oops. There we go. And you can see 181 right there as the high. How can I make this? There we go. There we go. Look at that. So overall, it was, like an hour move, obviously. It really never went against us. Look at that perfect straight line. It was a really good trade for us. Did less, bank more. And it was something where I went normal size on, and that's why you saw that posting some gains. I almost went heavy size on it, but I was very confident in this, so I wanted to communicate that with the members, that when I alerted this, I'm confident in this. I'm confident. So when I'm confident, I go normal size, I go heavy size, and if I'm super confident, I'm slamming two different strikes. I probably would have slammed the 60.5 too, and went a little bit closer and slammed more with it. But I mean, that's what we're looking for right there, right? So it was really good movement right there. So pretty good play. So anyways, 2 for 2 on the day. That was really it by staying patient. So we will see kind of how we're gonna go with tomorrow. We're seeing we are down after hours a little bit here on Apple and Amazon, but is that affecting QEQ right now? Not too much. We're sitting at 43. Are we sitting at 43? There's no way we're sitting at 43.23. No way we're sitting back up here. I don't believe that. I don't believe that one bit. SPY's up $3. There's no way. 562. We're not. There's no way. Hold on. Look at futures. Futures just popped heavy right now, or what? What is going on? I guess so. Is there news or something? Let me check. I don't see any news. Hold on. We just popped heavy, so we're basically back. We're basically back. And I was about to kind of say it too, guys. I'm looking for upside tomorrow. I'm really not looking for downside. I know a lot of y'all are trying to get bearish on me, but this kind of just proved this kind of downtrend breakout. Anytime, and the reason why I'm looking for that upside is because anytime I've ever seen us run up like this and then slowly kind of pull down, this is always turns into like a falling wedge scenario, where we end up breaking up higher. But we do have news pre-market, so that's going to affect us as well. But it's always a little something, a little something. When there's news and things like that. So we'll see about that. But that's ugly. I don't want that bottom. I'm not looking for. I don't see. That's the thing. I don't care about drawing the bottom here. I have zone for zone, sure, but I don't care about drawing the flag on the bottom because I'm not looking for that tomorrow. I'm looking for that upside. So right now it says 43.10 now. 43.10. So we're back in this zone right here. I mean, tomorrow's pretty easy, guys. Back above this, slam calls. Don't overcomplicate it. Nvidia is up $1.30, so okay. Well, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Up or down. I'm ready to go. I do have downside on some of these though. Like Nvidia looks pretty good on the downside. SMCI does look pretty good. Flagging here, especially on this break that 32 level. We're dropping to 30 easy, and those contracts will move nicely. I'm seeing it too. Okay. I guess I'm not crazy. I don't know if that's just a flash pump, something going on. Looks like it's still kind of pushing a little bit. Wow. It's cool. Okay, well, I'm ready. I'm ready for upside, downside, whatever. So, pretty awesome there. I tried to tell the members today that stick to the zones. The zones are gonna save you today. Tomorrow, same thing. Gonna be a very zone day. Don't overcomplicate it. Above this, slam that. Below this, slam those puts. Blah 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 blah. Easy, and that's it. You don't gotta do too much. Tesla Fridays is still a thing. Let's not forget about that. I do see that right there. But if we hold, and it looks like we're kind of holding there, but say we, hold this and then shoot up here above 280, which is already above it right now. Should run to 224, or yeah, 284, 288, and then if we break 288, 87, we're just gonna run right back near this up here, which we attempted to do a few days ago and couldn't quite do it. So that's something to be looking out for. It's still in this channel here. Once this breaks for Tesla, this is going to be massive, 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 massive. So keep an eye on that, guys. Pretty simple. China says it's assessing possible trade talks 25 minutes ago. Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Apple came out with earnings and was like, this tariff shit's gonna cost us almost $1 billion or something. And then China's like, yeah, all right, we might have to make some talks. We'll see. We still have what is that? What's pre-market? I know we have news, but what news is it? Is it checking right now? Checking right now. Non-farm unemployment rate, non-farm employment change, job numbers. So again, the pretty weak job numbers that came out this morning. Jobless claims, right? Showing slowing economy. So we'll see about these employment change. It should affect us, but I'm ready for some downside push up. It looks like Spy's the way stronger one here. Oh, and I like Spy's setup a lot better too. So I'm ready to go on the upside. Again, a little trick here since y'all are tuned in to the Rico Cap live stream here. I'm always giving y'all tips and tricks every time I go on live. Every time I try and give y'all a little something y'all can learn from. Palantir, nice, looks like a falling wedge here. Anyways, tips and tricks, things like that. Always pre-market. Always scan your pre-market. Not because you're looking for this certain setup or anything. You need to first look at where the strength or weakness is. From there, you got to make your assessment. Okay, is the majority consensus green right now with maybe one thing red? Is majority red with one thing green? Between SPY and Q, who's the stronger and why is that? Q's weaker than SPY. Well, that's because Apple and Amazon are dragging ass. Okay, well, if we're getting that upside tomorrow, SPY's still good. You know, attack SPY with some strength. If we start seeing some downside, we know Amazon and Apple is dragging ass. We can attack Q with some puts. Just give yourself the higher probability of winning. That's all I'm trying to say. Give yourself the higher probability of winning. Before you enter that option, before you enter that trade, ask yourself, how many things are in my favor versus against? Do that mental gymnastics real quick, and you should be, having a checklist in your head of, all right, this is on my side, this is against me, one thing's against me. If you can get down to one, maybe two things against you with everything else on your side, then you're going to win that trade. I guarantee you. And you're going to win that trade guaranteed if only one thing is against you, and that one thing is just going against you. And that's literally it. Like if you're going long and the one thing against you is just going down, you're going to win that trade. Or if you're shorting and the only thing going against you is going up for whatever random reason, you're going to win that trade, right? But again, when you're shorting, you got to make sure the volume's on your side. We can melt up off no volume. We can't sell off no volume. Another tip and trick for you right there. Hopefully y'all are listening. Hopefully y'all got y'all's notepads. Hopefully y'all are taking some notes. But yeah, I mean, look at the futures. We're still pushing. Wow, not bad. Hopefully they don't try and sell this, but ES is kind of approaching. That's a high of day supply from today, so let's see what they can do there. Hopefully, those jobless claims or those job numbers, I'm sorry, don't mess us up tomorrow. But again, we're not really breaking down here. So get the daily. Daily's trying to print a super trend up on MNQ, so that's even crazier. But let's take a look at SPYX real quick. Yeah, SPYX is trying to eat that gap from overnight, kind of into close. Possible we just push back up and then gap and go kind of scenario. Like I said, every day SPYX is printing a gap because it's the imbalance or indifference between SPY and Q whenever we open up because SPYX is not moving overnight. So this is kind of where, you see a lot of traders kind of use this as their trading strategy, playing that. And so you're wondering how are they getting banger plays off SPYX? It's because they're trying to play that. Now, there's no way they're playing it at open, near open, because them contracts are juice. So likely, if they're playing it, lunchtime after lunch, kind of when the contracts have had enough time to get chopped around and cut in half, and then they try and go for it. So I have yet to crack the code with SPYX when it comes to trading it at open. I know I'm the king of open, but I'm not the king of open with SPYX. I'm the king of open with SPY and QQQ. And my name and the names on my watch list here and there, but SPY and Q, I'm the king of open on that. When it comes to SPYX, it's a whole different dragon, whole different beast. So I'm still trying to crack the code on that because there's a science that goes behind it. You gotta, you know, option selection, the price, how much money. There's a lot of things that go into it. For me, SPY and Q, I have it down to a science as far as the strike selection, the price I want to pay, the move, things that I'm looking for. There's a lot of stuff that I got it down, even into trimming, even into stuff like that. So the whole step of getting people profitable, I got it down. It's cool because I posted a tweet earlier today, and there's people that are that I know in real life that are not a part of well, they're a part of Regal Capital, but they're people that maybe seen me trade okay, not seen me trade, but they know my lifestyle, or they know my life, or maybe they seen the little stuff that I posted on my own personal social media or whatever that had to do with trading or whatever. Which when I first started trading, I posted a lot about it on my personal stuff, and it wasn't like how to stuff. It was just like cashing out, going to the gym, done. I was the king of open before I was the king of open, if you know what I'm saying. I was the boy, before I was the man. So I, was banking early and then posting on my stories like, all right, made this, I'm out hitting the gym. And then, people that would just hit me up and they're like, man, I would see you just eating brunch, every day at this time, or you're at the gym for 3 hours because you were done early doing whatever. What was your secret? How you do it? Stuff like that. So anyways, those type of people that reached out, they really asked me like how do you trade, teach me how to trade, all this stuff. So of course I've gotten that a lot through the years, teach me how to trade. A lot of people say it, a lot of people don't mean it, because this is hard work, guys. Don't let nobody fool you. This is hard work. um, this is discipline, this is passion, this is everything you think it is times two. And that's how I continued going in my journey of trading, guys. How I got to being this good. And someone, I think it was like Vince or someone tweeted it out, or they tagged me in something. They were like, "This is probably how Rigo Capital feels, where I, kind of effortlessly make money." And it's crazy, but now that I'm kind of looking back on things or looking at things now, it's just like it's true. It's really true. You can lock me in a basement Sunday night. I can not come out until the next Sunday night, and I will come out swinging on Monday and make money. I promise you. Like there's no way I wouldn't. Like I'll go 1 for 1, 2 for 2 on 2 trades. I promise you. That's how good I feel like I am with my strategy, with my discipline, with just my understanding. And you know what, guys? That comes with time. It comes with time. It comes with screen time. It comes with understanding. It comes with showing up every day, guys. I'm 9 years into this. It didn't happen the first few years of how I am right now. All that time, it take to get to where I am right now, right? It takes 21 years to be 21 years old. You can't do it in 18. You know what I'm saying? As an example. And so I started this trading as passion, because there's times the market whooped my ass and had me questioning life. It will always make you be questioning life on a bad day. It always does. Sometimes it does for me, but I just realized, like, even now, I'm just like, I just know it's a mental thing. I just gotta sit back, do less. But I mean, days where it would whoop me and I would be like, man, is this really for me? Should I keep going? And even days where I was maybe sitting out of the market, just watching. I always had to show up and just watch. I never left a day from the market, no matter if I was in it trading or not. I showed up, and I always paid attention, even if I had money in it or not. In the early days, because that was the teacher there. The passion was there. I love stocks. I love financials. I love going through, a lot of this stuff, balance sheets. I'm just obsessed with, a lot of business. I don't know, like numbers. I love the numbers. I love, seeing the behind the scenes of a company, their earnings, EBITDA, cash flow, things like that. Net asset value, I love their debt, actual and their estimates, things like that. I love looking at their balance sheets. I love looking at all that, and it gets me excited, because that's where you really can do the math and figure out, where a company is valued, or if it's undervalued or overvalued, and things like that. So, those are the awesome things that I really loved about it. You are a great teacher too. The way you break it down is really nice and easy to relate. Appreciate that. I try to, because in my journey I realized you can really overcomplicate things. I see that on Twitter. A lot of these names, all these people that want to be somebody or somebody that is huge on Twitter just want to overcomplicate things. I know you guys see it. Banana posting just absolute nonsense research because a lot of times, he's posting something and then like the next week, goes in the complete opposite direction of maybe what he was projecting. I don't know. The thing is, when it comes to trading options, like he is, you need to be right and you need to be right now. You get what I'm saying? You can't just be right 3 months down the road because we get it. You can just pick a direction and just be like, it's going to go in that direction at some point, at some point. And no, that's not how it goes. I give you guys information, I chart, I say things going into the next day because that's all I'm focused on. That's all that really helped me get to where I'm at right now is focusing on my next step. And that next step is always what's important because you keep focusing on your, one step, not 3 months out, not 6 months out. What about this? What about that? No, not what about that. Focus on getting where you are the next day, that next step, that brick by brick, so then you can look back and be like, dude, I've come a long ways. And that's where I'm kind of at right now. I'm like, wow, I've come a long ways. And so for those that are listening right now, that maybe 2 years, 3 years into trading, maybe 4 years, that's nothing. Imagine where you're going to be in 7, or another 2 more years, another 3 more years. Imagine if you doubled that time you've had so far, where you will be. I promise you, you're going to be further. You're going to know more. You're going to have that skill to be able to take it with you wherever, because you're going to be able to, go into the market and know what's happening, know what's going on, know what's a good deal, what's not a good deal, where to go, what to do, what not to do, stuff like that. So I think that is, I think, extremely, extremely important. So, very important. It's gotten to me where I am today, and I'm still learning. I'm still becoming a better trader every single day. I've improved a lot from last year and this year. I'm always trying to test myself with new things, and new techniques of how to be right. When it's time to be right. That's it. Um, but I do have a lot of experience under my belt. Like Spine Q, once we're seeing these contracts juice to the gills and we're getting, huge swings, a couple weeks ago, and they were almost impossible to touch. I knew it's time not to touch those. We're turning around and I'm touching TQQ, I'm touching SQQ, I'm touching, Spy G. I'm touching, a couple other names where I know I can go smaller names and play those options and get the same move out of Spy and Q because it's the same thing. That comes with experience. If that didn't work, which I've been there where I've had to pivot past that. Past that would be now I'm playing inverse stocks. Now I'm playing 3 times leverage inverse stocks against Spy and Q. If I think this is going down, if I think Q's going down, then these inverse stocks are going up. Then and they're cheap. I'm slamming 500 shares right now, and I know I'm making a couple $1,000s when it moves a few bucks because of the moves are so intense. I don't even need to slam the options on it. I can just go shares. And of course, I could always go options, but there's so many different ways, and that just comes with experience. So, that's the thing. If you're following someone, do they have that under their tool belt? Are they well rounded? Are they gonna stay cool under pressure? Have they been in different markets? I've been in limit down markets. I've seen. There's one week in COVID. I don't know if y'all experienced it, if y'all are trading, if some of y'all were, whatever. There's one week in COVID when it first kicked off where we had 2 limit downs and 1 limit up in the same week. Limit down Monday, limit down Wednesday, limit up Friday. And I banked every single day of those off swings. Again, it comes with experience at that point. At that point, I was, you know, a few years into trading at that point, 3 4 years, and so I was already like, getting the fear out the way of just it's just time to go for it, just time to do it. I was getting pissed off. I think by year 3 4, if you're still seeing some decent returns or maybe not seeing returns or wherever you are in your journey, at some point in your trading journey, you're going to get pissed off and you're going to say, it's time I win. Because all you have to do is just win. You're going to break it down so simply in your head that you're going to say, I just need to win and I have no fear. I don't care. It's just money. It's not going to change my life right now, but it will in the long run. So let's do this. So look at that Q kind of coming down a little bit. Let's check on futures here. A Looks like he has kind of pushed back up into that, where we were before we pulled down after hours. Wow. Let's take a look at SPY. SPY, $3 still. This is sitting around 482.50, so right at this level. Okay. Tomorrow should be easy, guys. Let's keep it simple. If the upside comes, we can trust it. A little bit of a downward boom kind of push up there, dip and rip kind of scenario. So I mean that's good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of ranting. Hopefully, you guys like this. Just kind of getting real with y'all and talking with y'all. I appreciate anyone that's a member that's on here. I appreciate you guys a lot because y'all are the reason why I love sharing my ideas. Y'all are the reason why I love, I'm streaming now. Y'all are the reason why I'm even pushing it because a lot of years I spent just straight up trading and not giving a shit about the internet, not giving a shit about posting. I'm great at marketing. I'm great at posting. Don't get me wrong, but again, man, I know how to trade. I was like, if I know how to trade, I don't care about anyone else who doesn't know how to trade or doesn't know the information, and I live my life like that where as long as I know it, who cares who doesn't? Because I put in the work to know things. I put in the work. But I realized, I could live like that. But also, I realized what made me realize this, and this was actually around 2020, 2021, I was straight up killing it 2020, 2021. Those were probably my two biggest years making um, like six figures trading easy. And I mean, I spent more time in the gym than I was trading the way I was killing it. Like, it was swings after swings, wake up, cash out. It was that. It was wake up, cash out crew. It was King of the Open. It was all that before anything. Anyways, what made me get into kind of wanting to help others and things like that was I had a buddy of mine. Um, he lost his job, right? Uh, and he, man, he was out of shape. He lost his job. He was really going through it, and like the first thing was he hit me up because I went to college with him. I had a class with him, a business class, finance class, whatever. And I remember him even mentioning this because I always talked about trading and stuff back then. But he and I say that like I'm not 30 years old. Come on now. I think I'm unk now to some of y'all, but we'll see. I ain't that old. But anyways, he goes, let me work out with you. I was like, you want to work out with me? I was like, you want to work out? I go hard, dude. I go hard. I know y'all see. I post my physique. I post, me in the gym a little bit. I go hard, dude, on some of these occasions. Even then, I was going really hard. I was like, are you sure? Because he was like beginning stages, like getting in there, and he was like, yeah, dude, I don't care. I'm with you. Let's go. And I was like, I had a lot of people say they want to work out with me. Well, let's see. Appreciate you more than you know, bro. F anyone that's BSing around not following you. Appreciate that. So yeah, I was like, all right. I had a lot of people that say, I want to trade. I want to lift with you. I want to do this. I want to do that. Teach me. I always get people to bend it down. I'm like, all right, show up, cause I'm showing up. Show up. Let's see. And my boy, he showed up. I was like, hey, I'm hitting the gym every day, 10 a.m. my time. This is 2 hours after market open. I'm done trading. 10:30. I'm there. Let me know. Be there. I'm gonna be there. A lot of people that's kind of hard to get up and just make it to the gym at that time, which is shocking. But to me, I'm already done with my day basically. So he starts showing up, and he was showing up every day with me, and I was actually getting impressed. I was like, okay, that's cool. He's showing that he can stay consistent with that. Okay, so he knows that I was trading at the time, and he knows that like when I'm at the gym, either my stop loss is on, I'm in a position and I'm already riding it, stops on, bracket on, or I have alerts on my charts like this. Let me alert like this, or if nothing's really happening, that's gonna let me know, and I'll know to get in the position. And sometimes I knew that where I would go to the gym knowing in an hour or two this is probably gonna play out, and I'm gonna be entering in the gym, which is fine. I mean, and this is where it started. So an alert goes off, and I'm like, look, bro, I'm about to enter this position, and I get in. We're hitting legs. I'm getting into the position, and then I put my phone down working out. I would say, I don't know, 20 minutes goes by, it hits my limit order sell. I'd show him, and I was like, there we go. Made a quick 1500 right here, right now, and training legs with you. And the way he looked at me was like I just discovered gold or something. And I kind of had that same reaction from a coworker before I quit my job back then when I was really first started trading. Wake up, cash out, swung some Apple calls, made my first $1,000 morning, and that was one of my first $1,000 mornings. And I showed my coworker. He straight up looks at me and goes, "Why are you even working here?" And I just had that moment of like, damn, is it time? I mean, I knew this time's gonna come, but is it time I, quit my job and stuff? Anyways, so my boy, he looks at me shocked, and he was like, teach me, like, how to, like, teach me, man. I need to make money. I need to do this. And I was like, man, you really don't want to do this. I promise you. And he's like, no, dude, I really do. I was like, all right, open up a Robinhood account, throw some money in there, as much money as you can. I don't care. Throw some in there, and we'll see what we do. He goes, all right. Next day in the gym, well, it was like a few days. I think that was probably like a Wednesday or Thursday. So then probably that Monday, Robinhood was slow back then. So he threw in the money, money cleared, settled, all that, blah blah blah. And so I was like, all right, check this out. We're working out. I was like, give me your phone. He had $300 into it. Turned $300 into $600 in that same workout session. Um, it wasn't 15 minutes. It probably took an hour. And I was playing, QQ lottos and stuff. I mean, it was awesome. Doubling his money, and he like looked at me shocked. He was like, you made me $300." And I was like, yeah, like that's nothing. Like I could do, like, in around those times the markets were moving like this, were, but we're just pushing up. I was like, that's nothing, dude. Like, check out for this swing. Like, I was like, I'm about to re-enter it, and we're gonna make more off the swing. Check it. And he was so shocked, and he was like, all right, you need to teach me. And I was like, dude, I don't think you do. And so at that point, I was like, because he freaked out about $300. At that point, I was making buku money. I'm talking for me, a bad day for me around those times was making 1K in a day. That was a bad day for me. That was like, I'm not trying hard enough. Like, that's where I was at, for me, which was absolutely insane. Now that I'm kind of really thinking about it, because I've chilled out a lot as far as like my trading, because I mean, I had my first 10K day on Shopify way before any of the splits, when it was like, you know, moving 100, when it was like moving $20 days, $100 days. I made 12K overnight on a swing off two contracts on Amazon, when it before the split, when it was trading around like 3K, 4K, two contracts, off 2K, turned that into 12. I did a lot of things where, I was on it. It was easy. And the thing was, my strategy was different back then. The zones, I didn't invent the zones yet. I wasn't quite, I felt skilled, but I feel like I wasn't complete like I am now. And so that's why I was like very interested. Anyway, so, to me, I was like, that was nothing. $300, that's nothing, dude. Like, that's a paper cut. To me, I'm losing $300 on a bad day. I'm losing money like that. I'm losing 2K on a bad day, easy. And he was like, man, you gotta teach me. So I was like, all right, dude, if you really want to, show up to my house in the mornings. Market opens at 8:30 for us. Show up, and we can trade the open. We can trade. Let's see how serious you really are. Um, and so he started showing up, and I was like, man, sometimes all you gotta do is give people the chance, because, what I know is it can change a lot of people's lives, sure, but again, it's not going to change their life unless they change it with me and try it and put in the time. So that's why I want to say thank you to all the members. Thank you for all those that are showing me support on the main, recap too. I know y'all are trying to, y'all are out here trading. Maybe, y'all don't want to join for whatever is y'all's reason, and I respect that. Of course, people that get my time and my actual inside knowledge is going to be my members and stuff. But, I appreciate anyone supporting. And I'm trying to show support as much as I can on Twitter. There's a lot of haters on there. I don't live on the internet. They can say what they want. I still close out those apps and laugh and smile at the end of the day, because I love my life. And, I'm gonna keep doing this, whether whatever happens. I'm gonna keep trading my ass off. I ain't going nowhere. Look at that. Yes, tagging that supply right. Oh, beautiful. Needs to get through there. Wow, is it possible that we're gonna see kind of a move up here in the morning? We'll see. Tagging that there, beautiful. It looks like it's gonna try and push through, but I don't think it has anything other than maybe that news. That news could do it. We'll see. But yeah. Thank you for your time and knowledge. I appreciate it. No, and I love the community. Thank you. I appreciate it. Back me up 100%. And I love the community. I do. I do. Some of y'all members, man. I mean, all y'all are so badass, but a few of y'all know who y'all are. I appreciate, the community. I appreciate y'all, talking and just having that discord between us because a lot of people in our normal lives don't know nothing about trading or stocks or things like that, right? I used to be at the grocery store 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning. Instead of the gym, I'd be in the grocery store getting some food, running my errands. i'd be like I'd be like walking down the aisles like, does no one in here know that Amazon just ripped $100 and they could have made thousands of dollars? No, just me. Okay. All right. Like I'll be in the gym like, guys, I am up 4K. Does anyone care like to want to trade something? How or like people would be complaining about me or complaining that they're like, man, I need to make money, blah blah. And I was like, why don't you just learn how to trade? And they just like look at me like, what are you talking about? And I was like, yeah, you're right. I guess that's just a crazy thing, but it's true. I mean, there are losses associated with trading, and I think a lot of people, don't have that system of treating it like a business or having it down to a science. And I think that's why I help a lot too, because I broke all that down. I broke it all the way down to where having that probability of winning comes with having a system, having a routine, and then don't veer from it. But then again, guys, think about it. Trading sure comes with losses, but so does business in general. You start a business and you start a cupcake business, and you're open for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you haven't had one customer because no one knows about your cupcakes or whatever. You are losing money every single day keeping the lights on. Say you have a gym and no one signed up, losing money. Restaurant, you ain't selling enough food, tanning, whatever the business is. So this is just another business where you wake up at zero and you now need to bring in more income, and then think of your losses as like a business expense of that's where I got to change. That's where I would change my thinking. Those losses were just dues paid for keeping the lights on. But you have to perform. You can't just keep losing. If you just keep losing, obviously you're doing something wrong. You need to have a system, right? That's why I'm screaming trust the zones, because they work way more than they don't. They work 99%. I don't even know if I can say 99. It should be 100. As long as you have the psychological part down where you don't get faked out, and understand, where we are in the market. The zones work every single time. You just have to understand that. And trust. You got to trust a little bit. Give it some time. That's why with TEQ play today, we did open up above, that demand, and we did hammer out. But say I bought some calls into here, into this demand, and I was like, I gotta trust. I gotta just play it right here, and you'd be all right. Let it play out, and then probably like this 30 minutes, 45 minutes right here, you're kind of like, okay, we're up. Let's see what happens. Just gotta trust. Trust, and then you're gonna get that play out, and stuff like that. Wait till we break under, things like that. This is already up 57.61, so it's back above this, and this is something you could possibly play tomorrow again, as long as we stay above this demand. We're gonna push back up to 58, and then possibly next week, if it holds in this sideways, it's gonna keep pushing up. So trading is definitely like that business where you gotta treat it as such. You can't just come in here gambling like, I'm trying to make this much money today with no strategy or anything that's gonna like really get you there. So you got to be able to treat it like that. You got to be able to understand that all of this is calculated risk. Everything is a calculated risk. I think in probabilities. I think in things like that. So I did recommend a book a few streams ago called Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke. I think that's a really good book. A lot of people ask, what are some, books I can read on trading? No books you're gonna read on trading, guys. What book do you know that's gonna tell you how to deal with the markets we're in right now with the Trump headline coming any moment about tariffs? Come on, be real. What you need to focus on is fixing your mental, your psychology, understanding that. Because if you can understand that, all this is just price action at the end of the day. You can get that by just showing up and watching. From there, you can determine, things like that. I made a pretty good psychological play early in the week, just purely going off of the psych on what's probably going to happen. Swung some puts when we, on what was that? Early in the week, whenever we pushed up heavy into close and then dumped the next day because I know it would come right back down. That wasn't just like I'm just gambling shit. That was a pure, bluff catcher going into it. That was what, Monday going into Tuesday, something like that. So, I knew this week was going to be heavy, things like that. You've been in the market enough, you've seen the signs, and pattern recognition is also a huge part in things. You got to understand, can you catch things? Can you see things happen once or twice, and then, you know, um, recognize it happen again? Is there things that pique your interest a little bit more than others as far as certain setups and things like that? Can you recognize that happening each time? Um, and can you capitalize off it? That's a huge thing, guys. You got to understand. Very, very huge thing. So you got to understand that, and you got to understand. Sure, there's a lot of variables into this, but if you just dumb it down all the way, you'll be all right when it comes to trading and things like that. Just dumb it down. Everything in your life, keep it simple. Keep it super simple. What's that saying? Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. That's it. Everything in life. I realized I started winning more when I stopped trying to overcomplicate everything. You don't need to. So that, anything and everything. Get it down to where you got to do the least amount of stuff possible to win. And I don't mean be lazy with it. I mean like as far as preparation, as far as extending yourself, because mental capital is still a thing. You know, a lot of traders ask me, how do I balance my personal life with trading? Because trading is nonstop every day. It's every day. Well, first and foremost, I see a lot of these accounts just tweeting nonstop on the weekend, guys. Let me tell you this. I don't I don't really think about tweeting much on the weekends about stocks. I don't care what's happening over the weekend. I don't really care to look or chart or anything. If it's some members that want a mentorship, or if they want one-on-one mentoring, then of course I'm going to be doing that. I might open up the charts on sometime on a Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, kind of early, just to kind of maybe recap a little bit, just to kind of think of some stuff. But I'm not constantly talking, thinking about it, whatever. I'm trying to move on with my life and enjoying the moment, so then I can have that healthy, you know, it's a healthy obsession. It is a healthy obsession, and the healthy part comes from when knowing how to turn it off, for and being where your feet are at. Right? If I'm at the gym, why am I on my phone thinking about stocks on a Saturday? If I'm out in the park, if I'm at the river, if I'm having fun, if I'm hanging out with friends, be where your feet are planted. That's gonna help so much. And when that market closes, everything else needs to close out with it as far as in your mind, and focus on everything else. So that is my probably 2 cents on how to balance things like that. So I try and keep it super simple again. And yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys, everyone that watches my stream, can appreciate that. We come out swinging every day, guys. I mean, I caught some few bangers Monday and Tuesday on live here with you guys. That was fun. And then I'm going live nights. I got a mean work ethic, so I'm gonna keep it pushing. I plan on being a top name in this space. I promise you. If I'm not already a top name, I'm coming for it. I promise you. Some of the bigger names that are threatened by me already blocked me. They got me blocked a long time ago, and I love that. I love it because you can do whatever you want. Block me all you want. I love it. I'm coming. I'm still alive. I'm still healthy, I'm still showing gains, and I'm still running my strategy. You know, when you're threatened by someone, you're gonna block them, you know, without speaking to them or whatever. They're just gonna do that. I don't really care. I don't care. I mean, none of these guys, you know, they really ain't on my level. I can confidently say that. Not in any way, shape, or form, guys. So, if you guys, you know, want to support me or you know appreciate, it, then show up to the lives. You know, join the team, be a part of the crew. Let's win. You know, I want to see y'all get in shape with me. I want to see y'all make money trading with me. I want to see y'all jump in real estate with me. I want to see y'all do all these things and we can share it as a community, because where else are you going to get that where people, you know, can talk about what went right and what went wrong for them? And that's always what I'm going to share. This works for me, and this didn't work for me. This is what I did. You should do it this way. I promise you it's a better way. And then vice versa. You know, a lot of members tell me stuff, and I appreciate that too. I don't know everything. I don't, and no ego over here. I have zero ego. If someone tells me how to do something better, then I don't care. I'm listening to you. I don't care how I did it before, because if it's not working for me, someone else got it down better. I am listening to you. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm doing it your way. A lot of people want to come on here and say they're better at trading, they're better at this, they're better at, it's just like, guys, stop with the ego, dude. Like, you're either winning, you're not. You're either sharing with the people or not. You either got the results or you don't. I don't want to hear the words. I want to see you back it up. I want to see what you can do, you know, for someone else. I want to see you help others. I want to see you put someone else first. Everyone else always wants to talk about, you know, their sentences ends with me, or me this, me that. You know, I realized my life started changing when I started asking, what can I do for others? That, I feel like that's where, you know, I was very fulfilled, where I'm getting that fulfilling, you know, feeling, because my, you know, my whole, you know, early ages, I'm selfish. I'm thinking about me. I'm thinking about, you know, what can I do? What can I get? How can I wake up today with and come back home with more? How can someone have less? I wanted to be, I don't ever wanted to get the short end of the stick. That was my mentality, and I changed that. Of course, obviously, I'm ruthless and I'm still aggressive and I'm still that guy. But at the end of the day, I'm out here trying to help people that genuinely want to help, and I want to ask myself, what can I do for them before I ever ask about me? I'm good. I know I'm gonna be good because I'm me. That's it. But can I help someone else that may not have that same skill set, that may not think the same way, that may not be able to move the same way, that may not have something figured out the way it is? That's the thing. I've helped people in my personal life before social media, and that was where I really opened my eyes, like getting some people in shape, working out with me. That was the first. I was already passionate about working out. I've been in shape my whole life, so I never really had those issues. So then when people had issues, you know, I was just like, oh, I can fix that easy, bro. Just listen to me, you know. And then, you know, when other things came into play with, you know, a lot of my personal friends or personal, you know, stuff that I was into, I was like, oh, just do it this way. Oh, just do this, do that. But again, it was never egotistical. I don't care about being right. I just want to win. And if I know a way to win, I'm gonna share that. And if you know a way to win, you better tell me right now, because we need to win together. And that's the thing. That's always been it. I don't like to gatekeep anything or stuff like that. Of course, you can be like, oh well, you know, you can surely gatekeep whatever, blah blah blah. But you know, I'm here to share what I want to share. Again, you know, I could show you anything I want for free. At the end of the day, you know, I think my favorite saying was, you know, people can watch Bruce Lee do karate all day, doesn't mean they can do karate. And I think that's a really good kind of explanation or metaphor, kind of what I'm, you know, they can watch you do things, but they can't replicate it in a way you can, if you know you don't have your heart in it, if you don't have your intentions in it, if there's other factors into it. So yeah, guys, I mean, again, at the end of the day, I don't do nothing unless my heart's in it. I don't do nothing unless I'm passionate about it. Look at that, ES is still pushing. I'm telling you, ES is going to try and break through this. It's going to try. I don't know what is, I came all the way back down. What is this, a 15? what is it? Yeah, was it MQ? Yes, yeah, yeah. Still trying to hold it here. Who's the DGen that wants the long futures here? Kind of like this, not gonna lie. It's pretty strong still. I mean, decent off of a little bit of catalyst, but also we have more news, so I don't know. I'm gonna start trading futures for you guys or with you guys. I say we hop on streams at night and go for it. Why not, right? Let me know if y'all want to do that. That'd be pretty cool. Win lose together. I'm not perfect, and to be honest, only certain nights where I'll take um, the overnight play. But that's just if I knew I'm swinging options and I know the play's gonna happen overnight, and I'm gonna capture that too. That's only on that. I don't really do it every single night. I rarely do it unless I know it's a good swing. This market has not been good for swings, to be honest. But some of these overnights have been decent. I always, what I would do is I would get into a play, and as long as it stops above buy, I'll just put my stops above buy, go to sleep or whatever. And then, of course, I'll wake up in the middle of the night, check my phone to see if I got stopped out or if I'm still rocking and rolling. So my mind never lets me sleep, though, if that's the case. It's the worst. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to break through this. It looks like they're trying to, but if I had to really think about it, just keeping it right here, I would say they reject this and we come back and kind of hold it until we see the news in the morning. I don't know. That's just me speculating. That's just me purely thinking about a psychological play. So 140 y'all on stream. Man, I was kind of talking away a little bit. What time is it? Yeah, getting a little late. I'll stay a little bit longer. Stay a little longer. Give me a topic y'all want to talk about. If not, I'm gonna ramble a little bit longer. But stay. Oh, another thing, guys. Another thing that's changed my life when it comes to trading: gratitude. Gratitude. The state of gratitude, guys. I'm a very negative person naturally. I wake up, and I don't mean I'm just cussing at the world like middle fingers. Godly, guys. I'm not just waking up flicking off God or anything. Whoa, easy, easy. Calm down. All right, hold on. I repent. I repent. I'm not just waking up, angry like that, but I am negative. I think everyone is naturally pretty negative. It's human nature. Like we're just, kind of have those negative thoughts. So gratitude has gotten me so far by staying in that gratitude, right? Instead of saying I have to do this, I get to do this. I have to wake up for work. I have to go to the gym. I get to wake up for work. I get to go to the gym. I get to do those responsibilities. I get to provide. I get, to do these things. And that's right there where that's changed me completely. Especially, and I try and teach this to some of my members too, where I don't care if you made $10. I don't care if you made $24. I don't care. None of that matters. It's not about the money. It's about the gratitude. Some people, and Chase said it best too, some people work all day for $100 and you're not going to take it in that first 15 minutes. You're not going to take that $300. You're not going to take that $90. What is wrong with you? And so that's another thing, gratitude. There's days where I've only made $10, and that could be recent. I broke even earlier in the week on, what day was that, Tuesday? One of those days I should not have been trading. Slight red, slight green, and that was like a win to me. I'm grateful for that. Like, thank you. Like, it could have been worse. It could have been way worse. I'm not thinking about it could have been way better. I could have made $1 million. I could have retired. I already spent the money, and then broke by Friday. Again, like, gratitude. Wake up. And so I challenge you guys, to apply that to your trading, apply it to your life, guys. Apply it to anything you really can, because I promise you, if you do, your life will definitely change in the greatest way possible. So always and always, count your blessings. Be appreciative. Live in that state of mind. When you living right, your world will be right, and I promise you. Also, another thing that's helped me become a better trader, and I know some of you might not want to hear this, but we're gonna get kind of into it here. Vices, guys. I did not become the trader I am today by smoking weed and drinking alcohol. Anyone that personally knows me is, I have people in my real life that know me, and they're just like, damn, like, he don't smoke anymore, he don't drink anymore, because I really like, that was me, like high school, college for sure, high school for sure. I don't know where I went harder, but I think the lifestyle just didn't change. I was just got a little bit older. I mean, I was going crazy with it. Anything, as far as just smoking and drinking, weed and alcohol, I didn't do anything crazy like that. So, anything past that. So I partied a lot socially. I was a very social person. So again, when I first started trading, I was like, yeah, I love smoking weed and trading and making money in my living room. And I realized it slowed my thinking down. And so I'm not saying you can't win smoking weed and stuff like that. You can definitely win smoking weed, trading and stuff like that. But if you want to go to your ultimate level, wherever you wanted to go, it might take having to, not smoke when you're trading or whatever. Like, you gotta have that mental clarity. And so I realized that on some of my days. Like I said, I'm not, the alcohol, I don't know, I, I can't scold you guys. I don't smoke or drink anymore. All I can talk about is me, and what's worked for me. I don't smoke and drink anymore. If I do drink, it's on Christmas socially, at the end of the year, saying, good job, let's get, I'm getting ready for, getting ready to do it again next year, kind of thing. Look, we're rejecting here on ES. It's pretty cool. I'm just what kind of watching ES stronger here. If this flag breaks, you can play some of that upside. But the vices, guys, and I don't mean just like doing, smoking and drinking. There's a lot of vices out there, guys. Stuff that takes away, your mental clarity, that takes away, maybe money out of your pocket, that maybe takes away other things that you shouldn't be doing, and only you know that. It's your subconscious. Your subconscious will tell you. You'll wake up, you have that guilty feeling. You feel like shit afterwards, whenever it is. And that was just me evolving. Like, dude, don't get me wrong, I love smoking weed. I loved it, love it. I have bad anxiety, and that's the only thing that gets me to rest my mind, is that, and I love it, and I think about it all the time. But I haven't done it in probably since 2018. Since 2018, it's crazy, I know, but it's just, I had to go to that next level for me, and for me, it took putting that down, and it was tough. But I started to feel guilty when I would do it. I just wouldn't feel the same, and it was just, man, I had bigger things for me. So you got to be able to say, not now, not now. You can still do whatever you want, but when you level up, life is gonna test you that much harder, and you got to be able to see or say, not now. Is life was gonna test you. Life's gonna, prove to you, life's going to make you prove to see if you're really who you say you are. And if I needed to be who I needed to think I was, or say who I was, then I needed to stick to it. Then I had to say, not now. I had to change the lifestyle. I had to do other things. I had to, and even during COVID, like 2020, when on the lockdown, like, I was killing it trading, and we couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't go to the gym, nothing. And I was like, I was like, should I start smoking again? I ain't going nowhere. I ain't doing nothing. I'm killing it on trading. Can I do that? And I was thinking about it. But you know what I did instead? Look at that pop right there. Yes, just trying to break that flag. You know what I did instead? Instead of smoking, I started going outside and just running, because I had nothing else to fill my time. I was killing it trading. No one else was going anywhere. Nothing was open. Roads were dead. I just started going outside and running. And that was the messed up part, because like my legs weren't that big. I had to get my legs up. I wasn't really training legs like that at the gym. I was like, it's time to get my legs up. I need to go running and stuff like that. And guys, I started running a few miles, turned into 10 miles almost every day, 5 to 10 miles every day. And like, I think my record was like damn near 50 miles in a week. And I probably took rest days of like Saturday, Sunday, but I was so bored, right? Everything was just bored. I just went outside, and I lived in hill country, so I'm just running everywhere. I thought it was hilarious. So again, best thing for you, if you're trying to get rid of, let's see if ES can push up here. We're still kind of pushing. Best thing, guys, replace those vices with something healthier. That's it. That's it. I ain't say be perfect. I'm not perfect. I just try to be the best leader I can, and I would be a hypocrite if I said all this information and didn't live it. So I got to be the example. I got to wake up early. I got to stay up late. I got to do the charting. I got to show y'all all this, that it's possible, and that you can do it, and that you don't really have to do it, but if you know if you're with me, I'm gonna share it. So maybe if you know you have that busy schedule, I'm sharing my charts. I'm doing that hard work for you. I'm doing that heavy lifting for you. So all you got to do is get out there and win with me at the Open or whatever. Um, and then once you really can juggle the schedule, you're back to it and doing the charting, doing those things, and stuff like that. So um, I gotta be the example first. I can never take advice from somebody that is doing less than me. That's why I kind of hate Twitter, guys. Man, it's hard. It's hard. I look around and like I respect a lot of people. There's a few people, few big accounts I respect on here that are pretty awesome that I follow. One of them, Karma Options, Karma. Shout out to him. I know y'all probably know who that is. Um, Good guy, dude. Good guy. He's in Texas too. He's down the road from me. I think he's in Houston or whatever. Um, he followed me kind of early too. I appreciate that. Before I really was kind of popping off on Twitter. I don't even know how I think maybe I just followed him. I don't even know why he decided to follow me. Maybe he followed me first. I don't know, but that's somebody. I think I can name a few more accounts that's a big following, but you know, I don't know. Off the top of my head, Karma for sure, man. Cool guy. I love his information. Stand up dude. I like the way he talks about his family and stuff. He throws in a little bit of mixture of other stuff, not just market talk, sports and stuff like that. I respect it. Cool dude. Cool dude. But I see people on Twitter that are bigger, not bigger accounts, but just accounts or people in general that are trying to, you know, maybe try and get them to follow them, or they're doing this, they're doing that, they got stuff figured out. But then I look at them or pictures of them and I'm just like, no, like you don't look like you got it figured out. You got to wear it. You like the way your body, how you hold yourself is everything. And if you're just completely out of shape and you're telling me financial advice, I can't take your advice on that for sure. I wouldn't even take your advice on anything. You can try and tell me anything, really anything. I'm not gonna take your advice on it. Like if you tried to tell me a shorter way to get home from work, I wouldn't even trust that from you. That's how much I wouldn't respect. If you're in shape, you got to get in shape first. You got to get in shape because that tells me you are. That tells me first of all, you wear it. Your body will show you have that discipline. That tells me you stick to something where you're not going to get the immediate gratification of results right then and there, right? You start working out, you're out of shape, you're not going to get those results for another 6 months, 3 months, a year, whatever it is. That tells me you have dedication. That tells me you don't have the results right away, but you're still waking up and showing up. That's what I can respect, right? If you're holding yourself in a manner like that, then I'm gonna hear you out for sure. I'm still skeptical on a lot of people, but I'm gonna hear you out. I'm gonna hear you out a little bit. I might take them directions home if you suggested them directions. We'll see. I might come back the next day like, hey, that was the worst advice you could have gave me, but I still, listened a little bit. So it's all about that, guys. It's all about how you hold yourself. Become better in that way. Stop trying to convince people. The ego thing. I think that just comes back to it. I don't want to be on Twitter with an ego. I'm not on Twitter with ego. I'm not out there screaming I'm the best, but I am out here screaming I'm consistent with my diet, consistent with trading, consistent with family, friends, consistent with being someone in the community, consistent with my goals and things like that. And that's where you're gonna win. I'm not saying I'm the best at any of those things. I'm saying I'm consistent. Consistency is what's gonna do it for me, at least. I realize it's life's a journey, and if you can stay consistent at anything, you know, you're gonna win. A lot of people don't stay consistent at things. They want to do something for 6 months and they want 10-year pay. They want to do things for 3 years and they want 10-year pay. They want to do things for 5 years and that 20-year pay. They want to do things for 1 year and expect the 9-year pay. They want to be pulling numbers like me or whatever. I don't even pull impressive numbers compared to, Twitter and stuff like that. But I mean, I make money, and that's the whole point, the whole point. But, and that's, like I said, that's the whole point. Like, consistency and things like that. People think they're gonna get it in the first whatever. You got to put in your dues, guys. It sucks, right? you can't just get into med school or try to become a doctor in the first year. I don't know, whatever, pre-med, pick a year, right? They have to go through 10 years of all that just to become that. So there's a lot of things in this life you can be. um, don't be a hypocrite. That's another thing. Just don't be that. Pick what you want to be and stick to it, because I promise you. And find your group of people. I appreciate a lot of you, on stream, 160 on stream here. Appreciate y'all watching. And a lot of y'all showing up too. I like that. I'm gonna keep. Obviously, I'm consistent. I'm gonna continue showing up every night during the week. I really didn't want to go live today. I really didn't want to talk. I just wanted to chart a little bit, but I just started talking, and then we just kind of kept it pushing from there. Look at that. Apple still going down lower too. Wow, still pulling down there. Not bad, not bad. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to talk, but again, a lot of things I don't want to do. I'm showing up for y'all. I'm showing up for me. I'm showing up. The job's not done. Friday, we still got Friday. The job's not done. I don't go home early. I don't go home early when the work's not done. I'm gonna tell you that much. When the work's not done, and even though if work's done, I'm still, I'm cleaning up a little bit. I'm still in the office. You get what I'm saying? I'm here. I got to be the example, guys, and that's all I want to be. Another thing too, I was saying not too long ago. I do a lot of mentor sessions for members, and when it comes to trading, I do like mindset coaching too. And like we talk about a lot of stuff, personal life, how to handle things and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, guys, I'm just trying to be that person I needed when I needed somebody, when I first started trading, when I first started handling things, when I first started, doing things, trying to get into business or whatever, finance, real estate, stuff like that. I'm trying to be that person, because I didn't have that person. I didn't have someone to call. I didn't have someone to get on Twitter about. I didn't have someone DM. I didn't have somebody to I can have access to like that. I had to do everything by myself, and that ain't a flex. That ain't not a flex. I promise you. If you got somebody, use them, because that's gonna shortcut you a lot faster. You don't have to go through those trials and tribulations like I did. At the end of the day, it was more of my ego a little bit to do things by myself. Maybe it's not like I denied help, but it was, life will put those people in your life. You will cross paths with those people that will help you get to that next level. It is up to you if you're gonna reach out. I met this one guy. I was at a resort, not too far from where I lived. One of the best in the city. I'm there, like on a 4th of July. I'm in the hot tub at like 9, 10 p.m. and I meet this couple, kind of an older gentleman, and then his girl that was with him was like my age, like slamming hot, like fake everything. And I was like, okay, well, clearly there's a dynamic going on here, because like this girl's like my age, and at the time I was like, I don't know, 25 or 24 or whatever. And then like this guy's clearly like 40s, so something's going on here. Anyways, I'm in the hot tub with them. It was just us three, right? We're just like looking at each other. Me. I'm talkative. I'm not gonna just be staring at people. I mean, I could if I wanted to, just mean mugging, just like sitting there. But I'm a talker, of course. So I started talking to him a little bit, talking to her, whatever, and I asked him what he does, and he was saying he's in real estate development. I was like, oh, really? I was like, damn, okay. And like, yeah, he owns his own development brokerage. Like he owns the whole process kind of thing. And I was like, wow, like that's how you really make money when it comes to, business. You got to have that like vertical integration where you're owning the steps. And I figured that out when I was taking a like business management course or in college when I don't know if it was business management, if it was a business management, or it was one of my business where I was like, the only way to make real money is not just own the business, but you have to have that vertical integration where you own the steps all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. That's where you make money the whole way. Anyway, so he owned all. I was like, dang. I was like, oh, okay, damn. So you're making mad money. He was like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And as they like laughed, I was like, okay, this guy's clearly rich. And so I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, let me get your number. Like, I flat out was like, Yeah, let me get your number. Like, he's from Dallas, so he wasn't even from my city. They were just visiting, and so I was like, oh shit. I was like, I really want to get into that. I don't know how. Like, can you help me or whatever? And he just kind of like he liked me because I made a good impression. He liked me. He was like, yeah. Just give my email, give my number, whatever. I was like, all right, cool, appreciate that. I had his contact information in my phone, and me and my boy would just talk about, how we should just hit that dude up and like get into it, put money together and get into it. Never did, never did. I think I maybe added him on LinkedIn, which dumb. Like, what is that gonna do? Nothing, you know. And one thing I really was like, dude, I should have just told him right then and there, like, if you teach me how to make money in real estate, I'll work for you for free, whatever it is. Like at that time, like I was trading, so I could still trade. I could just trade, and or I was starting to trade. Yeah, I was already like 2 years in trading or whatever it was, a year and a half. So I was like, I could just trade and do that, and just try and make it that way, bootstrap it. And I never did. And again, like I said, life's gonna put those people in your life, and it's up to you to see if you're going to capitalize off it or not. Are you gonna fumble or not? Oh, hold on. If you're looking at stream here, ES just printed that reversal candle up here on the 15. Likely we come down, then like I said, my prediction was we tag this, come down, stay in this range until news tomorrow, or we even come back down. That would be crazy, but I don't think it would fade all the way down to the gap. We might fade all the way down to this demand. We could, but that's a reversal candle, guys. So I mean, boom. Expect a little bit lower. Anyways, I'm a yeah. Look at that, pull down a little bit more. Pretty nice, pretty nice move right there. Anyways, life's gonna put those people in front. It's your job to capitalize off it or not. So you gotta understand, you know. So if someone like Real Capital comes along the way, I need you guys to capitalize it. If someone else comes along the way, I need you to capitalize it. No better feeling than playing the open than working my normal job the rest of the day. It's so true. It's so true. Take the daytime. I think that's when you're talking about trading futures. But yeah. No better feeling than playing the open than working my normal job. That's it right there. That's how you do it. It's honestly awesome. It's like you make money that way, and then you make money with your own job. And if you lose the trade, I mean, don't get me wrong, you still got your job. Stuff like that. It's cool. So yeah. Anyways, all right, guys. Enough talking y'all's ear off. Plans are set. Tomorrow looks pretty easy. Let's look for that upside to see if we can break higher. Let's see if this holds. Let's see if news comes out. Stick to the zones for members. If you're not a member, I did tweet out the QQQ game plans for tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, the Lotto watch list. Lotto watch list. So QQ does have the game plans on there, or at least the 481. But the SPY does too, which is above 460.08. So pretty much this right here, we're breaking that downtrend breakout above there, but we're already at 462 here, so right up in this range. So above 462.33, you can see this zone would run right back to 564, 563. So keep an eye on 562.33. If we open up above that or we get above that, slam them calls. No better, yeah, with you. Sorry, nah, I get you. I get you. Yeah, we having fun. Right it open. I love that. Anyways, all right, guys, I'm gonna hop off stream here. Let's get this tomorrow. Let's finish it. Job's not done, guys. I want to see some gains y'all post tomorrow. I don't care if you remember or not. Show me them gains. Tag me. I don't care. I'm gonna show the support. I'm gonna retweet you. Whatever. 170 y'all on stream right now. Appreciate that. Also, another thing I think I forgot to say when I circled all the way back, but the circle all the way back, I love when people in my life that are not a part of RicoCap, but they know me, and they're kind of joining RicoCap, but they text me, they're texting me gains, and I tweeted a little bit earlier. If you scroll down a little bit, screenshot from this morning. Someone that is so new to trading, and they're just like, how do you do it? Because they're watching, my YouTube videos, they're watching lives, they're watching all this stuff, and they're just like, I need to get in this with you. Like, what's going on? I mean, now it's a little bit easier to be like, let me join you because I got a following now, and I got a whole army behind me. Back then, it was like it was just me, and people still wanted to. But anyways, I posted a screenshot, and he's showing his gains, and he's just like, I don't know how you do this. You're the goat, small gains, getting the hang of it. And I love that because, you know, to some people that might be, life changing. I don't mean the money, but I mean the understanding, that unlocking of like, holy shit, like I'm learning something that's immediately making me money and I don't fully understand it, but I'm learning it and I'm on the right track. You didn't have to start a business, you didn't have to go sign some paperwork, you didn't have to go do nothing crazy. You pressed the button at the right time and did the right thing off of someone's guidance that knows what they're doing, and they made you money. And now all you have to do is just kind of learn that process. And when it's dumbed all the way down like I make it, sellers right here, you can see it, sellers, buyers. And if you can see that, you can understand to be on the right trade and continuously win with a little bit of psychology behind it, of course. So anyways, hopping off stream here. Appreciate y'all showing up and showing love and just kind of hanging out with me, guys. We're just hanging out. 170 y'all. Let me get the live check right now. Live check. How many? I think it was 170 last time I checked, unless some of y'all got off here. Yeah, 171. Cool. Appreciate you guys. 171, 71 here on X. Might be a little bit different on YouTube. Trying to get the YouTube up. 2 people on YouTube. Shout out to those people. All right, guys. I'm hopping off stream here. Let's get it tomorrow. Let's have a good end of the week, and have a good weekend after that. So I'll be on the timeline. Let me know if not. I'll see you guys bright and early. So let's get it, guys. Peace out.